live here, and welcome to this Wrestling 2020 missteps video. Yeah, I know 2020 has been a massive misstep already, everything with COVID-19, but does it mean that the wrestling companies haven't made mistakes? So this is a video looking at said mistakes, whether it were unfinished storylines, segments that just didn't work, or just companies just not handling their talent correctly. So without further ado, we're going to go straight in and talk about the two most controversial moments in wrestling this year. One starting off in January, involving Impact's own Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard was highly rated at the start of the year, probably one of the best female wrestlers in the world at that particular time. It is still today, to be fair. But in January, just before her big night as going for the Impact World Championship, stuff started to come up about her being a bully, and racial allegations all started to appear. Something to do with an incident in 2017 which involved Blanchard spitting in a black female wrestler's face. The wrestler in question was called Black Rose. Yeah, this literally blew up after basically Tessa had tweeted to this wrestler saying, what's up with female wrestlers that were supposed to back each other up. And it was Alison Kay who said, whoa, wait a minute, weren't you like a bully or racist? I mean, you've got no room to talk about backing your female support wrestlers. So yeah, this blew up massively. But the problem, what I have with it, is not what Tessa did. She did kind of apologise on Twitter, but it's what Impact did. When you've got an allegation of such against one of your main stars, especially when they're going for the title as well, and it's going to be a major big story point. A lot of heads were turning at this particular point with your promotion. They decided to ignore all the allegations and still put the title on Tessa, even though there was massive heat against her on social media. Yeah, it didn't look great for Impact at all. A lot of people got put off, turned away, just like, we don't want to watch a promotion what's going to promote bullying or racism. Just think this was a massive misstep by Impact. Yeah, now several months later, obviously we've got COVID and everything else. Tessa is refusing to come out of Mexico. She's just got married and is loving life over there. She's had to give up the female the championship, as she wasn't able to keep with the obligations which came with the title. Yeah, like video packages and such, she never did, so Impact eventually had to terminate her contract. Yeah, a little too late in my opinion. Should have never put the title on her in the first place, or at least waited until all this stuff cleared up. So yeah, that's the first misstep of 2020. And we go further down the line, and middle of the pandemic, the Velveteen Dream, a very similar situation of just a company not really doing what they should have done. With Velveteen Dream, he was accused of sending explicit photographs of himself to a minor. I believe the child was, I would like to think, about 14, 15, somewhere around that age. WWE did have Dream off of TV for a month. Totally denied that this were about these allegations and said that he was in a car crash. Don't know what's going off behind the back of the scenes with NXT or Triple H or whatever, but they haven't publicly put out anything to us that they're even investigating this or even looking into it. In fact, Velveteen Dream has come back and had several matches while all these allegations have been going on. So it's really hard to believe that anything has been sorted out. There was a Twitter campaign saying sack or fire Velveteen Dream, which they tried to gloss it over, saying that Velveteen Dream was fire. Yeah, I just think it's a massive misstep. We should keep him off of TV while all this gets cleared up, or make appropriate statements so that we know what's going off. Yeah, no matter what, these photographs were new, old, they should have never surfaced in the first place. And WWE should be a little bit more wary of how they handle wrestlers in such situations. But, you know, without proper hard evidence, it's just speculation and they're just allegations. But yeah, the company should have done better in these situations. Or talking about NXT and WWE and situation, what happened during the pandemic as well is Black Wednesday, where several, well, 30 odd people lost their jobs. And yeah, they've decided to make a story out of it with Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick was released, as we believe, cut like his own personal promo. Very heartfelt video which caught the imagination of everybody who watched it. And then all of a sudden he was thrown wham bam into a storyline with it, being allowed to compete in a tournament in which he'd become the Cruiserweight champion. He didn't win, he got to the semi-finals I believe, or the final, something like that, and he was offered the contract in the end anyway. Any wrestler would probably take this storyline to keep the job, which is fine, fair enough, but it's this should never have been a storyline. There's people that genuinely did lose their jobs, there's people that are still not on TV now. I mean, grateful, Impact are grateful for this, as they took on the majority of the stars what were freed on that day. Yeah, still pretty bad storyline, and just leaves a bitter taste in your mouth watching it, knowing that these guys had lost their jobs. We move away from that because very serious stuff at the start of this video. I can only apologise, but these are just massive missteps by promotions and the companies. Not really. The wrestlers themselves are obviously in the wrong as well, but the company should have dealt with it a lot better, in my opinion. We now go on to probably more of a rant now. It's AEW, and we're going to look at two of their missteps. One kind of a major one is that when AEW first started, they promised more sports related wrestling product, where wins losses count for everything, you know, more emphasis on that and putting on pure wrestling matches. Sadly, during the pandemic, we got bombarded with, which is only what you'd expect on WWE, and the fans wanted us to believe that, oh, this is the best thing ever. No, and it's not what you promised. The Stadium Stampede, for example. You watch that and you cringe watching that. That's something that, yeah, WWE would have been proud of that, which is fine. They're entertainment, and they don't deny it. It's in the title, for God's sake. But AEW, yeah, I know, we were just a wrestling company. We want to be known for wrestling. Yeah, they've put out this garbage. It probably would have been alright, but you've got Matt Hardy changing clothes in water. Yeah, he changes his full outfit by dunking underwater. I mean, it's just, yes, you know, you promised wrestling, not this garbage. It's like the sing-along what they did. It's like, what are you trying to prove? You just wanted to be like WWE, you're mocking WWE. It's just trash. Do your own thing. That's what people have invested in you for. That's what people want to see, is wrestling. You can put on the best wrestling show. You've done it in the past. You just don't do it week in, week out. And that's the problem with AEW, is that they're not consistent. Hopefully 2021 can see a little bit more consistency between performance from each week. Cut out the entertainment if that's not what you're about. Leave that to WWE. You concentrate on wrestling like you promised. So that's a misstep from AEW. Understandably, their backs against the wall with the pandemic and everything, but still, you can produce proper wrestling. What you promised. Still with AEW, let's talk about the female division. I mean, I would say lack of female division, but that's not true. You'd think so, because only one female match ever gets on TV every week. Oh, I don't include Dark for this. Yeah, because it's like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 matches on Dark every week on YouTube, which is fine. But where are they getting the main push? I mean, I'll go back to my review of All Out, where Shida were facing Thunder Rosa. You've got 2 champions facing each other. It wasn't second on the card. It wasn't a co-main event. I mean, what? It's a female title, right? It's your main title. It's the only one you've got. Why is it not a co-main event every pay-per-view? Why are you not promoting your female stars? You've got a load of really talented ladies just waiting to be shown on TV. But yeah, we'll probably know why, because of Omega, the Bucks, Cody, who just don't have faith in the female talent, basically. They just want the limelight for themselves. Bad business, very bad business in my opinion. Sheena Deeb, you've got now NWA. You had Alison Kay for a short time. You've got Big Swole, Red Velvet. I mean, all these women. Your current roster with Britt Baker, Nyla Rose. I mean, it's just stunning wrestlers what are ready to perform and can perform at the highest level, and they're just not getting a chance. You're not going to see a female match at main event, Dynamite, or a pay-per-view anytime soon with this kind of booking. Really, AEW, you suck. This is why you're failing, why a lot of fans are still not quite getting you, or you are just not joining your company, because WWE are doing it way better than you. Promoting the females, main event in SmackDown, main event in Raw, main event in WrestleMania, for God's sake. Why can't you do a simple main event match on Dynamite with the females? In my opinion, this is why I'm not going to be a full-on AEW fan. I can watch your show, I like the wrestling, but until you get the female division sorted out, no, you just don't get it. Real fans want that kind of action too, and you're not delivering. Yeah, you should be promoting the likes of Shida as a co-main event. It's a main title on your product, and not an afterthought like it has been so far. Now it's a bit of a rant on AEW. Now we're going to go into WWE, and no doubt I've got to talk about this, as because what we should have got, what we did get, and what we're still getting. Oh, it's just confusing as hell. What started off at the start of the year as the SmackDown ACA has now formed into Retribution. Thought that like SmackDown ACA was really working. WrestleMania with the old Mandy Rose Otis thing was fantastic. Really loved that storyline. Yeah, and then it just flatlined. I think people found it too easy that it was Ali who was the SmackDown ACA, so they dropped it. And then we've got this mysterious hooded group causing chaos each week on each show. One week they'd be doing something, just like blowing a generator up, then storming the ring and destroying that. Then we'd go to Raw again and just being a production truck. It just never did anything. It never really made sense. It's supposed to be taking over a company. Oh, they'd be disgusted with the company, and they did nothing. It was like one segment on each show, and they were done. It never seemed to continue throughout the show. So it was like WWE failed to commit to their own storyline. I mean, at least when NWO did it back in WCW, it made sense. They took over. They stole the show every time they were on. Retribution failed, and then when they got the big reveal of the names of the members, oh my word, Slapjack, Mace, T-Bar, oh my god, they became a laughing stock, and now we've got them losing pretty much every week. It's like there's even rumours now that they're going to break it all up. Break what up? It never actually started. Ali should have been just left on his own. He could have got away with it being, oh, I just used these guys, or something to that effect. But this never took off. There was never commitment to the storyline. Yeah, and we us fans just trashed it straight away. It just wasn't good. So it's either you cut your losses, get rid of it, or do something big, make it huge again. Which you're struggling, proper struggling. Anyway, enough about Retribution. We're going to talk on to the last topic, the last misstep of wrestling. And this is one that had the biggest potential out of the lot for me. And WWE stuffed it up. Well, no, not WWE stuffed it up. Vince McMahon stuffed it up. I'm talking about Raw Underground. When it was pitched, when we first heard of this, we just thought, like, the last hour is going to be like this more MMA, like grungy fighting thing. Right, cool, sounds awesome. Yeah, and then we saw it, about 10 minutes of it, and there's Shane with these guys fighting in the background, placing bets, and the dancing girls, strippers, whatever you want to call them. There's a cool image of what I did of wrestling days as dancing girls. Enjoy that. Yeah, so yeah, it just never took off. They gave no rules to what was happening. There was no championship, there was no rhyme or reason. You give it the last hour of Raw, would have been fantastic, because that would have cut down the content to Raw altogether. We'd have got a better Raw show. And then we've got an added bonus of Raw Underground. The potential of storylines, business could have been huge. You got Dada, Cater, what looked impressive during that time. Not used now on any other product. Yeah, I just think this was a massive misstep. Vince wanted not to do it in the first place, which I can imagine that being the case, because it was Shane McMahon's idea. And it's like, oh yeah, we'll let it run, see what it goes like. Didn't give it time, didn't give it the full scheduled hour that it should have had. These 10-minute segments just didn't work. I mean, yeah, Maria Shafir, Jessamine Duke, I keep calling her Yasmin, looked really good in these segments as well. Dolph Ziggler looked like he could proper handle himself. Yeah, it's just a shame that it never really took off the way it should have done. So yeah, massive misstep by WWE. Okay, that's pretty much me ranted out. I've probably took up for way too much of your time already. If you know of any other things what have annoyed you this year, maybe storylines that didn't quite live up to what you hoped, or thought that the handling of superstars wasn't quite correct, or maybe the Keith Lee change of entrance and ring wear really grind your gears, let me know in the comment section below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. And yeah, please like this video, obviously, if you like it. If you haven't subscribed and you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing. There's going to be more content like this, I'm sure. yeah, but for now, I've been Dave in real life. You've been awesome, and remember to always keep it real. Until the next time, bye for now.